Be live on YouTube. Apologies for the delay. Yes, we had to push our stream late by 30-35 odd minutes because I was stuck on some unavoidable work. But anyways, we are back. We're back for Game Week 11. We didn't stream last week. We decided to go the deadline stream purely because of Friday deadline. But we don't have Friday deadline this week, so we are back again looking at Game Week 11. Uh, so hi, all, welcome to episode 22 of the Game Week Navigators. I'm Aditya, and as usual, I have Sankar with me. Yeah, Game Week 11. Right, interesting. We have this man right on our screens laughing at us, purely those who ignored captaining him. I think this is a lesson that I failed to learn again, yet again. So,
Even I felt it
let's.
was a very interesting thing, right? And very difficult to oversee Watkins, but I'm happy I had him. My points, my game week tally looked a bit better, but every time he scored, it was still a rank drop. It was not exactly happiness.
Yes, we'll discuss on it more as we go in depth in this stream. So, we'll start with our talking points for this particular episode. We're obviously going to look at the transfer trends, a little bit in brief. We look at Game Week 11 fixtures. Then obviously we have compiled a bit of good number of dilemmas for this week, and we look at captaincy. I think something is set in stone for most of us. We know who is going to be the captain. There may be a few other options also worth considering, and we look at our first teams. So without delaying it, let's look at the trends for this week. Obviously, we have Eddie at top. I think we have Mbemo, who I got rid of in my game week 9 wildcard, who punished most of the sellers over the last 2 weeks. Then it is, I think, Anderson is moved up. Douglas Lewis, I think Son is at the bottom at the moment. Pretty interesting bunch of names here we have. And in terms of ins, and we look at the outs are straightforward with Isaki, Udogi, Odegaard. I'll probably ask Shankar the reason behind it. Neto and Estepinian obviously I think will out. So what are your thoughts on these trends?
I mean, Eddie, I'm a bit surprised. I mean, he did score a hat trick, but it feels like more like the casuals, running the show because we are up against Newcastle away. It's a very, very tough match. I don't even know for sure if Eddie starts because I have a slight feeling that, Kai Havertz might come in just to give us that extra physicality in the air to help us win duels, etc. So bit surprised at Eddie. It's not like he's very expensive. Ideally, you'll be downgrading someone to get Eddie, right? So surprised there. Mbuemo, I mean, I have a lot of regret. I kept him so long. I just wanted to see him out for that Burnley match, and then every match is giving us points. I mean, it hurts a lot, but it feels like he's a good, asset after all. There were a couple of games there where Brentford looked very dicey. They were not going for Mbuemo properly, but now they look back again. Good coaching, right? Douglas Luiz. I mean, I don't know what people are doing. Either I'm not following this season properly, right, and my rank explains it, or else people have gone crazy. Right? But Son and Anderson, they are pretty good long-term assets. Um, and the fact that Son keeps scoring, hurts you every time. So that makes sense, but pretty surprised by some of the names there. Talking about Martin Odegaard from Arsenal, I have him. I was very surprised at the bench. I was really expecting a good haul from the match, so hurt a bit, but can't do anything. I mean, there are going to be odd resting. I think Arteta also hinted at it a bit during the pre-game week last time. I saw it and I was hoping that it's not. This week I was hoping it's Carabao, but it seems there's a small injury as well, slight hip injury, which ensured that he got rested or benched, whatever you say. But he came back yesterday night. He played last 10-15 minutes, I think, for the Carabao Cup. He scored a goal as well. So I think he'll be starting the Newcastle match. And we had happy memories from him against Newcastle last season. So let's see.
Yes, I do remember. I mean, the long shots, pretty much people will say from outside the box, the amount of attempts he had. And anyways, trends are pretty much straightforward. Mbomo is someone that I've seen a lot of people regretting saying I kept him throughout those phase where he completely gave me two one pointers, and now as soon as I remove him, he gives two consecutive double digit points. So I think more
It's
or
that
less,
kind of a season. I think it's a season of
hmm,
regrets, whether we like it or not.
yeah, season of regrets. But yeah, we can't keep regretting. Let's look ahead, which is more important. We look at game week 11 fixtures, and the first game, the early kickoff is Fulham. They take on a very poor Manchester United, and then we have a couple of interesting games throughout the course of this week. Obviously, we have Spurs against Chelsea, Newcastle against Arsenal, and with fair, fair much to say the least, these are the two probably big games of this week. And there were few other options there from other teams, pretty good fixtures, and hopefully we can turn it around for those who have regrets. So, what are your thoughts on these fixtures and any players you're looking to get in or in your radar?
Oh, I think there are two matches which everyone will be looking at purely from FPL point of view. Right, Luton is hosting Liverpool, and Darwin Nunes scored a wonderful goal yesterday night. So I think there will be a lot of transfers coming in for Darwin Nunes, right? Salah Nunes combination, and then you have City Bournemouth, right? So all the eyes will be there. As many attackers, people who are, I think, making transfers, they are making transfers for the attackers of either of these two teams. I don't think you should be, making a transfer for any other team this game week, right? So that's where all eyes are, and let's see how it goes. I'm looking to just, save my FT. I don't know whether it's a great decision. I can bring in another, striker, but I just feel it makes sense. For example, if you have to sell forward, you have to sell someone like Watkins just after one blank doesn't make sense. See him out for another 4 5 weeks. Last time I sold him, he went on a run, so it's just a season of regrets, right? So I have to. This time I've decided I'm not going to do anything. I've decided not to take any further hits. Enough of hits. Every time I take a hit, I feel like my guys match the old guys. That's all. That's the best possible scenario. And -4 is -4. So I've decided not to take any hit. I'll save my transfer and I'll just have a look at. But one team I'm also interested to look at is Wolves. Neto got injured, and I think it's a short-term injury, as he himself shared over Instagram. But still, I want to see how does Wolves look without Neto, and someone like Hee Chong, right? So these are, can we go there, right? That's a cheap alternative. Can we take it? Would be good to see. And then a lot of eyes are on Burnley now taking on Crystal Palace. That this target Burnley thing, which is now getting stronger and stronger. I think this will be a good test because Palace are not really scoring against anyone, and if they score even against Burnley, then you just have to look at, can we attack Burnley every week?
Yes, there are a lot of good games. Then we also have Everton playing Brighton. It's going to be interesting to see what Everton do because we've seen so far this season Everton are doing their best to put their step in front and try to score aggressively, scoring goals. Even against Liverpool, we saw them, despite going to 10 men, managing to put up a show, but eventually ending up losing. And that's going to be a very good game to watch. I think one of the other games that I want to see what is going to happen is Fulham against United. Obviously, for all the wrong reasons, because I think we will address the elephant in the room straight away. I don't know in terms of United what is going on. I think over the last few weeks, even I have been saying since game week 8 or so that I'm not convinced with any United play. Maybe don't go. Then I said Hoyland or Bruno. Then I ended up saying Hoyland, and now it looks like no one is probably the right answer.
Yeah,
And
I mean, United City looked extremely poor. I thought these are the games which United have been able to take advantage of somehow magically, right? At home, they do those counters and they score goals for sure. But United just don't look like scoring, and they have good players. They have players who are getting cheaper every day. But I think we have reached a point where you just have to wait and see them scoring for a week or two before jumping. Even one week, I might not jump. Even if they score this week, 2 goals, I'm like, okay, let's wait another week and see if it's getting true. Because there are a lot of fixtures that you can actually target from a United point of view, but you need to see what's happening, right? What's happening? Do you have any inside news?
unfortunately, I this is the deck changed completely in the wrong way. I think what we'll do is let's go to the next topic. That's our dilemmas, because one of our dilemmas is definitely regarding United. So I'm going to take the second one at the moment, the second dilemma for this week, and then we will go we'll talk in the remaining ones in brief. So here's the question to frame it: is that which Man United player, if any, should I consider purchasing for the upcoming three favorable fixtures? Now let's look at the three favorable fixtures which are at the ticker, and we play Fulham, Luton, and Everton. Yes, good games on paper. That's it
Yep.
on paper. I don't know. I don't know what's going wrong. Like, seriously, whether these like typical, we are seeing the same drama that's been happening over the past decade or so now, and it's like the same cycle wherein you got a new manager, you play well for a season, second season, third season syndrome, and it's happening second season right away itself. And as usual, it's like uh, some of the players maybe are throwing them and is throwing 10 out of the bus. I really don't know what's going on. Some players are looking lethargic, disinterested. Yesterday's game was bad.
It feels
It
a
was
lot
bad.
like
I
Emery's second season to me, right? For Arsenal, right? We started that season never expecting that Emery will be sacked because he had done really well. He had just missed out on top four, unlike Ten Hag, but that was a great season, right? He took us to again, I think Europa League final, right? And we missed top four by 1 point. I think we might have scored even like 70 odd points, a lot of points, but somehow we missed. And then getting into the next season, there was a lot of positivity, etc., etc., and there was like 0% expectation that Emery will be sacked. But as and when the weeks kept going deeper, right, the performance just didn't pick up. The players just stopped turning up, like you said. At some point of time, it's like this relationship is not working. Do you feel that's the stage you guys are going to be in? Where
I
Ten Hag
think
and players
at the
don't work.
moment, if you compare Arsenal and United, right? Let's see over the last few years. I mean, obviously, since after Emery had gone, I mean, Gordon Arteta also had a bad start, but the manager was back, and I mean, there were few occasions wherein things didn't go the right way, and some of the fans came with the pitchforks saying Arteta out and all, but he managed to prove them wrong. But there were maybe few murmurs of maybe let's say Cronky out and all, but it just died down because success started happening on the pitch, and nobody was bothered to look at the pack. But if you see United, we know, I mean, to say we know where the problem lies in terms of United, right? You can divide it into three problems. One is at the club's ownership, that's at the top hierarchy, which is a circus which is happening at the moment. Then you have the takeover, which was supposed to happen, which is not happening, which may happen at for a smaller stake, which might be
Arsenal.
diluted, partial ownership and all. And then
Okay. I think Aditya just lost his power, right? So that would mean that it's just us. What I would do is, let's continue talking about the some of the other fixtures that we see currently, right? One thing that I can talk about is when you look at Villa, right? So a lot of us are on Watkins, right? Watkins did blank. Do you think Villa is a team that we can move out of? Uh, I'm very very surprised to see last match for sure as a Watkins at captainer, but I do think it's it's really a bit in the middle for now, right? For example, you have Nottingham first away, which I think it's a very tricky match. It's not as easy as people expect it to be. Then you have Fulham at home, and that is something which is going to be interesting because I think over the last 2 or 3 weeks, Fulham have been dominating the ball a lot. Results can go either way, but they have been keeping the ball a lot. They have been attacking teams. They have not giving a lot of chances for teams to score. They are making mistakes, one or two, and you can hope that one of DIB or Watkins scores. But they are at the same time they are also kind of keeping the ball a lot more. Seeing, uh,
okay, unfortunately, technical issues will happen. So
oh,
I got a double blow. I lost power and internet. Both went at the same time. I
no
can't
worries.
help. My backup. The thing is that my backup failed, which shouldn't happen. So it's the same United stories happening. Everything is failing at the wrong time. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to continue with United? I was talking a bit about Villa in your absence, but we'll come back to Villa.
Yeah. So what I was saying is that yeah, there are a lot of unwanted attention that's also being happening. The club's ownership, the takeover, players not being happy with the manager is something again. I don't know who's doing all that crap. Some players they unhappy, some players unhappy with the tactics and all the other things, and there is a fallout among some players, is what we're hearing. I'm not sure. I mean, Sancho has been completely banished. The other thing is that injury ridden, and then we have I think Varane, who's probably had a fight with them. I don't know something. He's not been picked over the last two games, and he's been on the bench. So I don't know whether he's lost his place. I don't know what's going on. So it's safe to say for United, right? Just forget United players for the next few weeks. Things may go either. We'll come to a situation wherein the club might be, that partial takeover might happen by Jan and things may improve post then or towards that. But simple to say, in terms of FPL, Man United players are completely to be ignored. Even if they score 100 goals in the next three games, don't get them. That's not going to happen. That's why I said. So just keep them aside. Things are not going well. And
Yeah,
you know what's going to
I,
happen.
I'm interested in the Luton match, but you need to see something, right? I keep telling myself I'm interested in United players, but it's very difficult to jump there because you've just not seen anything, and we've not seen anything right from the start of the season. It's not like the last few games you guys have been off. It's just the system has not worked a lot so far, right? And
It's not
talking
worked
about,
well.
uh, yeah, we'll move on to the next topic. FPL dilemmas. We'll start with the first one.
Yeah, that's the big question.
Uh,
Should I take or take it to bring Haaland back for Bournemouth game this for non-Haaland owners?
have you sold Haaland by any chance on a wild card? No.
I have
Perfect.
it. I'm not going to.
Yeah, I didn't do that as well, but it still hurt me. I mean, I didn't captain him last week, and it still hurt me. It feels so bad. The You feel good about the fact that you have more points on board, but at the same time your rank keeps dropping, right? So it's very tricky. The only way you can be happy with Haaland is if you captain him. That's the only way. But overall, I feel this might be the only week which can be a mega hurt for fans, and it might not even happen. But this might be the only week which is definitely the strongest probability for Haaland hurting you, and then he goes off to have at least a couple of tougher matches. He has Chelsea away. He has I think Liverpool at home. Uh, Chelsea away, I'm not sure exactly what to expect, but I do think they'll have Thiago Silva on Haaland, who should be able to keep Haaland quite a bit more. And then you have Van Dijk on Haaland again. These are two players that I trust are perhaps one of the only defenders in the world, apart from the Arsenal duo, who can keep Haaland, quite right. So that's the reason I think if you don't have Haaland, you just have to take the pain. Right. You hope your picks, for example, people who don't have Haaland ideally will have Nunes as one of the forwards this week, and you just hope that Nunes is somewhere closer to Haaland, right? Matches him points wise, and if you have Salah and Son combo, again looks good, right? So the possibilities that comes out from non-Haaland draft, we have seen that it's very good, and I don't think people who were without Haaland, they did not have a massive drop as such. More or less, you know they were expecting a high green, they went back to slight amber or something like that. So stay put, see out another 3 weeks, and then I think all of you guys will have to bring Haaland again.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because as a manager, you made a decision not to go without Haaland for a reason, right? So you need to back your process there, your thought process. You can't just give up in just a week. So yeah, we've obviously seen the fixture run out and post Bournemouth game they play. I think as we saw, like Chelsea, Liverpool, and Spurs, right? I mean, yeah. So if I think there will be a situation where managers might have Alvarez instead of Haaland. So you can just
Yeah.
hope that somehow he manages to cover for Haaland, in especially the game
Yeah,
with.
there are plenty of Foden backers now. He scored. He played really well against United. Right. So there are people who are saying, "Hey, we have Alvarez." I think a lot of people kept Alvarez while selling Haaland. Just to have that City attack, and now they can double up with Foden. I think that's a good solution where you're hoping to get lucky. I mean, you may or may not, but you're hoping to get lucky, which can cover City attack for you.
Yes. We go to the next one is Mbemo now a must-have player for the long term.
It's difficult to say no. I was looking at the tweets, and I just take out that tweet I saw from Nighthawk FPL, and he just tweeted a overall summary of first 10 game weeks non-penalty stats. And Mbembo is top four for non-penalty xG. He's with 0.48 xG. Sun is 0.49. So Watkins is 0.51. So he's not falling far behind. He's slightly behind Sun in terms of xG, non-pen. And when you look at non-pen xGI as well, he's fifth. The one guy who came in between is Salah, and Mbembo is 0.71. Sun is 0.72. So he's doing well. If he has the penalties up to it, you can always say, hey, his penalties are over 6 points. Uh, that is great for him. But he's not. I feel like we need to have one or two players.
We have some issues, Sankalp, with your audio. I can't hear you.
Hello,
Your audio has gone very low.
can you hear me now?
No,
Now?
it's a bit like distorted.
Ah,
Try without headphone. Hello.
Yeah, that's fine. I think we can try it for now.
This is better, right?
It's better, but it's too loud. Let me just reduce it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you talking about?
Talking about non-penalty XGI.
Yeah, non-penalty XG and Mbuemo is top five in both non-penalty XG as well XGI. So while he is on pen, so that helps, but his non-pen metrics looks really solid, and I feel like it's a season where most of us are flirting with 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, and if you are on a 3-5-2, I would say the two players, and especially if you have Haaland, you just have to have two cheaper alternatives, right? So Bowen and Mbuemo for me are looking like either one of them you need to have. They are like the talisman of the teams who are scoring, and Mbuemo actually has the higher metrics while he's cheaper. He's a million cheaper or zero point 0.7 million cheaper compared to uh, Bowen. So I would I will fall short of the must have tag, but I still feel he's a good player for you to have. He's like a glue player for you to have and keep and forget, and hope that he keeps returning every 2-3 game weeks so that you can focus on your rest of the team and rest of the structure. Right now, you are on mute, Aditya.
It's okay. Yeah. Again, it did unmute me for weird reason. So yeah, we are having a lot of issues today, to say the least. But I did get rid of Mbego when I wildcarded, so it's fine. I got in Mitoma to cover, and looks like it's not going the right way for me at the moment. But we'll see.
Fixtures are
But
still there.
what if fixes are still there? But yeah, as you said, I think Mbego for that particular price bracket and what he's shown so far is like a season keeper, more or less, for that spot.
Yeah, and
Uh,
Mitoma, I remember, I think last season we were talking about, right? And he's a Mr. Consistent. He'll give you 6 pointer, 7 pointer, 8 pointer. He's not really a high ceiling, 20 pointer, 15 pointer guy. Mbuemo just, turns out to be that because Brighton find other avenues to score. Anyone can score in that system. Brentford are just so reliant on Mbuemo for chance creation, for, goal creating actions, for shot creating actions. It just goes via Mbuemo. So it makes sense to at some point of time try and find this way to get him in. I think I will do as well. Let's see.
Next, we have our Crystal Palace defenders worth considering for the upcoming run of favorite fixtures. Yes, they are worth considering, and we did discuss this, I think, in our last preview stream, and we came to a conclusion that, to say the least, Anderson is expensive, but he's the ideal. But for price, it is Mark Gahey who's ideally the best option for. I think he's 4.6 now. So value wise, he's better. Because I think Anderson is 5.1. Is it gone
Yeah,
up?
I
It's
think
5. I
he's
think he
gone.
might go to 5.1. He might go to 5.1. It's up to. It's just purely because of Anderson's ability to into set pieces and obviously passing. So your chances of assists could be there. But other than that, if you're just looking at for someone to give you clean sheets for a good price, I think Marquis at 4.6 is like the best option.
Makes sense. Uh, Again, a team that we generally overlook, but I think even in defense now we have to start looking at teams like this who are mid-priced players, who have mid-priced assets, and who are doing fairly well from a defensive point of view. Completely overlooked Crystal Palace so far, but someone that I would like to see which is the next favorable run and bring them in.
So next we have just it's a very good question. Can you afford not to have Salah in our team? This is Leong. And pretty much, I don't know. I think Leong might have got Salah in last week. So can we not? We afford not to have Salah in our team for the next few weeks, or can Darwin or Sabosnai cover for him?
I think it's similar to the Haaland question, right? So where either you have that premium or you want to, have a couple of players to try and match it. Nunes is a very good shout, and mostly from a metrics point of view, he always matches Salah, per 90. But the fact is, he rarely plays 90 minutes, and he has those odd benching for you, right? So Salah looks like a no-brainer for me because he keeps on giving points. I don't know how he's finding ways to score. Last week it felt like Turner had Salah captain. Right? He just let that ball go for Salah to score. So he's getting lucky ways to score, lucky penalties, etc. But at the end of the day, he's Salah, and he has that gravitas around him, and he will always, be an option for rest of his teammates to try and provide to score. Right? I think Nunes is the closest we can to try and cover Salah, but the fact is that I think Liverpool are second highest now, highest or second highest when it comes to most of the attacking metrics, and it just makes sense to have two. I would try and find ways to get two, including Salah rather than excluding Salah.
Yes, I agree. I think Nunes cannot cover Salah, but having both is better to attack over the next 2 weeks. But I think we have a lot of managers who are on double. But I think the no Salah team is very less at the moment, less number of managers. So that being said, I think we're done with this. We'll look at the next one without Welbeck and March, who are the best writing players to consider for attack units with upcoming good fixtures. I have Mitoma, and I hope that over the next few weeks he gets something. But I think last week I think there was a lot of talk around Adingra as another option, which I think is priced 5. And
Right.
I would say maybe Ivan Ferguson is a good shout, but
Yeah.
again he's a third forward. So if you play 3-4-3 and want to get in someone as a third forward, maybe Ferguson would be a good option for 6.
Yeah, Ferguson is a very good shout. It's just that he will have his minutes managed somehow. But Welbeck not being there means that you have the possibility of Ferguson playing a lot more minutes than he generally does. He's at 6 million, so that is there. But the fixtures are there. Everton away, Sheffield home, Nottingham Forest away. There's a hall somewhere. Right, he's just another player who you need to keep playing the day he starts. You get a 8 point to 10 point kind of thing.
Yes. Okay, next is a very good question. We've been seeing this over the last few weeks also that Calvert-Lewin is back. He slowly started to get in with the team playing. I mean, his minutes were managed initially, and then he was starting to score. So is him also someone who's worth looking at maybe somewhere getting around in a few weeks time? Because I think Everton are starting to look good and are starting to attack through him. I think he scored a goal against West Ham on game week 10, and before he scored in game week 7 against Luton, and then in game week 6 against Brentford. So, and he's been playing around 60 odd minutes over the last 4 weeks or so. So, what do you think?
Definitely an option. I think it can be. I mean, you just have to take that punt, right? It's just a matter of where you are going. Are you going your second forward or third forward? Right. So if you have that extra slot, he and surprisingly, Everton attacking metrics have been really good this season. They are just not converting it. So slowly and slowly, and this will be a very interesting week because I remember last time Everton went away and they had that 5-1 victory against Brighton. Almost
Yeah,
upsetting everyone.
unexpected. It came out
And
of like
Dwight McNeil, I think had a 20 plus point at 21 minutes. Right? So it will be interesting. This time it's home for them and they are attacking well. They're looking slowly and slowly a bit more settled as a unit. So we'll see how it goes.
yes. So let's look at the next few things that we have. Unfortunately, we don't have Leon to talk about Newcastle and Botman. So Botman might be out long term. This is what he has written. We've asked him to write this. He said it's out long term. Who are the budget defenders we should consider? I think I'm going to straight away go to Crystal Palace here. I think if you have Botman K, he just comes in straight swap at that price bracket. I think then you will have probably Simicas. Uh, and then the next interesting player is the next question about Gabriel Magalhaes, right? Even he's somewhere pretty much close to that price bracket.
But he got benched last week, right? So
He
that's
got
the tough
benched.
part. That's the tough part. I had three Arsenal players and two were benched. So it's a bit difficult, but I do think he was rested because he was playing quite a bit. Newcastle, I do expect him to start, and then we have Burnley. So it will be interesting to see what Arteta does, whether he plays him or benches him.
So in terms of Botman, who do you think would be the best replacement?
Um, I think Palace makes sense. Right? They do have decent fixtures as well. Long term, Palace makes sense. Right? The people who are talking about Maguire now because United fixtures do turn, but very difficult to go there. Right?
Don't, don't,
Very
don't.
difficult to go there.
I
You
would
don't know
just
Ten Hag what he's doing in terms of squad selection because last week he said he selected Maguire because he wanted him as a RCB to avoid press to help them navigate press better. Else Varane might come in with the loss. So very difficult to go there. I think Palace and Newcastle and Arsenal these are good when they give you cheaper assets. Just pick it up. For example, I think after this you can go for Burn as well. Right? So these are good players to have and just keep and forget. Don't play around a lot with defense. I have done that and I really regret it.
and what do you think about Mahrez? Like, why was he? Was he benched for a tactical reason last week, or
No.
is it a rest?
It was purely a rest from what we understood because even in this pre-season, game week press, I think Arteta has touched upon the fact that there were some players who had played a lot more, and he's finding out ways to rest them. And Gabriel had been doing that. He had been playing back non-stop for us in both Premier League as well as the cup matches. So Saliba had got I think one rest and so I think he decided to do that to Gabriel. So the word from the club so far is it's a rest. So we just have to go with it. If you have not bought him, this is not the week to buy him, right? So you can just wait out another week and see how the news is. But if you have him, I don't think he's a sell yet. Just I know it hurts, especially for people who bought him last week, and when they had him game week one, right? So there are so many memories, but just see it out take the pain long term. I think he's good. He gives you good points and he's 4.6 or 4.7. I think he's worth it.
I think it's gone up to 4.8 if I'm not wrong at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah. He
Just
had a price rise just after game week.
okay, this is the last dilemma. Very interesting one. Should I sell or keeps Heung-min Son and Madison as a fixture student? Tricky for me. The answer is straight away. You can sell one of them. I would be more inclined to sell Madison and not Son because Son is like purely their talisman, the best guy to want from Spurs. I have Madison, and I unfortunately don't have enough money to get in Sun, so I'm just hoping that I somehow scrape it with Madison and let's get the opportunity to get in Sun. But if you have two of these players, I think Sun is like he's like a season keeper.
Seems like that. Yeah, I don't have Sun yet, and I feel like, hey, what did I do? Why did I sell him at some point of time? But I would say if you're chasing it, it might also be interesting just to keep both of them, right? Because the door just keeps on working, right? And we are just trying to find other alternatives. And as and when you see the fixtures turning, right, most of the masters they'll keep moving on to the new fixtures, right? And you might be the one with the differential having Sun and Madison combo. So it might make. So for example, last week I sold Madison for Saka, and both of them gave 6 points. I had a hit, for no reason at all. So it might make sense for you to keep them both. But yeah, at least one makes sense, and Sun is definitely the best asset.
Yes, no, it's a no-brainer one. We'll go on to the next some captaincy options, which I think we should be laughing instead of reading at this. Obviously, the no-brainer option is Erling Haaland, and if you want to go against him, then you go for Salah, then you have Watkins. Then last but not the least, I've kept in Hudson because he knows how to score. Okay, what went wrong there? I think I'm all alone at this point. And
Sorry.
back. I was just talking and you all of a sudden you left. I was like, oh my god. Anyways, what do you think of this captaincy? I think it's a no-brainer week,
If
right?
you have Haaland, you just captain Haaland, right? It just doesn't make sense to go anywhere else. But if you don't have him, I think you can go Salah as well. He's got a decent fixture, and you hope that he matches or comes close to matching Haaland. Who do Villa play this week? Nottingham first away,
So
right?
they play Forest away.
I won't captain Watkins. I feel like Forest can keep things really, stuck really deep. They can sit back whenever they want to do, and they make things a bit more difficult for you. I think Sun is a decent asset. He can give you double digits like 8 pointer to 10 pointer. So one of these three. But if you have Haaland, I will just not overthink. I'll go Haaland. Simple as that.
And I think what about let's say Alvarez and we have Darwin as like the cheaper options from these two sides.
Nunes, if he's starting, I think is worth a shout. Luton. Uh, it's very risky. Alvarez, I'm comfortable because I know he'll get involved somewhere. Right. I'm more comfortable Alvarez to be honest than Nunes. I know Nunes is much more explosive, but you never know what you get from that guy. He might miss his five big chances. He might get subbed off early. He might come off the bench. So many things can come out. So many combinations can happen with him. So very difficult to captain him. Having him is differential enough for me. That
I
is
think
risk enough.
one of the good advantages that I saw last week especially in Manchester Derby was how good Alvarez was through set pieces. So his set piece ability is also very good. So that's also a very added advantage. And I was very surprised to see how good he was.
Yeah, he scored a
Mini
free kick, I
Aguero.
think, a couple of weeks back, and he's taking corners, he's taking free kicks more and more. So he looks like a good, set and forget guy. The people who have him told him last week for Watkins. I mean, it's okay. I'm given the form that Watkins is. You just don't, you cannot do anything else. But if you have him, he's a decent captaincy party. You might come out as a very strong winner compared to everyone else.
Let's see. We'll look at our teams to see if we end up as winners or not. So, okay, let me go to your team there at the moment. Yes. So, this is your first team at the moment. And what have I seen? I'm really going to go through the.
Uh, See, my rank is down in the plummets. I just don't see any reason not to, try and recover the rank as fast as possible. This looks like a good fixture. I think home fixtures are the fixtures that you can ideally go for, something like this. At the moment, I'm there. I just want to get it done with, to be honest. I just want to, get it closed with. And this feels like a good week to do it. Logical out. It's not illogical for sure. Obviously, double game weeks are much more, are less riskier. But I'm just hoping something works and I'm done with the chip as well. Right.
Who knows if Haaland scores like a 10, 12 pointer. It should
Good
not
enough for me.
turn out to be a
Good enough
good.
for me.
Yeah, good enough. And you will catch up with me in the heat. So, we just narrowly separated. That's how it is. And so you've made any transfers you're going to make?
No transfers yet, and ideally, I don't think I'll make it transfer. I'll save it. I know it's very. I have two Arsenal attackers, one Newcastle defender, one Arsenal defender. I don't know what will happen from that week, but I'm just playing it out. I have Archer against Wolves. I really, in my mind, I want to play that, but I don't know which guy to take out. So perhaps I'll just bench him and see things out.
Okay, I have an interesting dilemma which I'll throw it to you when we go to my team. So this is my team at the moment. I have two free transfers and I have to use one. I don't know what to do at this point.
Yeah, you have Madison, right? So I don't think you can move out of
I'm not.
Madison to
I'm
Son.
definitely not looking to get rid of medicine. I have nothing in the bank,
Yeah, yeah.
so I'm going to keep medicine. For me, medicine is
Yeah, the
it's a
only
long-term hold to
probable
make it.
transfer which looks possible if you want to use one is perhaps you finally sell Turner, right? That might be the only one. But you don't have any money in the bank, so you cannot go anywhere else. What is Turner's cost now?
Turner should be 4.1.
Open one, right? So you can get some money out by just moving him to a 3.9 or 3.8 million goalkeeper. I don't know what's the price now. Because see, it's just a move which will help you save some money. And that's the only thing I think you can do, right? Because Turner again is looking dicier and dicier, and at some point of time, I think he'll be best.
We'll see that time. I don't know because it's because I played the wild card in game week 9 and it's just that's why this team looks this way. And I have Taylor playing, if you notice. So I have Ariola, Cash, Simicas, Charlie Taylor playing at
But
the
you play
moment.
Burns, right?
Eventually, I'll end up playing, but just to make like the fixture look good. That's what I put. Yeah, but it will turn the other way, I know. But yeah, Pawan is someone I really want. I'm expecting some amount of returns over the next few weeks at least.
Yesterday he
Uh,
had a goal and assist against Arsenal in the Carabao, so he's there. He might have blanks, but he'll also give you weeks of good points. Right there. You just have to go through it, like go through the pain.
hmm. Yeah. Okay, I think we are done.
Yeah.
This is a fixture taker, and we go back to our deck. I think let us change our camera views now. I'm just going to remove the screen from now. Let's see whether this works. Okay, this is not enabling. So yeah, I think that brings us to the end of this episode 22 of the Game Week Navigators. Yeah, we had a very late stream as well, and technical issues ridden stream. A lot of disconnections in between, but somehow we managed to complete it. And those who listen to us on other platforms will drop us any ratings or so, it will help us out. Those who are watching it on YouTube, go drop us a like and subscribe. I think again, as usual, we will be back for Game Week 11 deadline stream with Joe, and uh, we'll see what happens towards the deadline. As we near it, we get any news also that might change the course of events, but I don't think so. But let's see what happens.
All the best,
Okay,
guys.
so that's it. We're done for this episode. We'll see you on next one.